Now, live from throughout Western Massachusetts, this is News Center 22 with Lynn Barry, John Spencer with weather, and Bob Rumbold with sports. Your #1 half hour of news and information. News Center 22 at 11.
Good morning, I'm Lynn Barry. Both sides poured it on in the World Series Game 6. The Sox lost 6-5 to the New York Mets, meaning a final meeting in New York tomorrow. We check in now with Bob Rumbold, a real heartbreaker, Bob. Oh,
that's not even the word for it, Lynn. People got it. Red Sox fans have to be strung out. Red Sox were down to the last strike with a 5-3 lead in the bottom half of the 10th. And Mookie Wilson's ground ball not handled by Bill Buckner. Ray Knight comes home, and the first World Series since 1918 is put on hold. And with the can going tomorrow against Ron Darling, the odds aren't good. So the Red Sox are tied in the World Series with the Mets at 3 games apiece, and we'll have, I thought there were going to be highlights, but looks like we're going to have lowlights coming up in about 20 minutes after. And John Dutzman, again, will be live from Shea Stadium.
Okay, Bob, we'll see you in a little bit. The World Series is perhaps the greatest event in all of sports. The October Classic involves many struggles. There is the constant battle between pitcher and batter, the struggle between catcher and base runner, and the mind games of opposing managers. But there are some wars that are being fought off the playing field. It's the confrontation of fan versus fan. This year, it's Massachusetts against New York, as followers of the game fight a war of words to defend their beloved teams.
Roger Clemens is 9-0 off of 5 days rest, so I mean I'm looking forward to and they're already winning 2-0, so it's great.
And then there's the other side of the story.
Definitely, I've seen them play all year round, and I know they can do it. I mean, it's been 72 since the series, and they're just going to pull it out. I have absolute faith in the Mets. I mean, I'm right from there. They're going to do it.
This is a different kind of warfare where tears are shed instead of blood and tempers are lost instead of lives. Yes, it's only a game, but try telling that to a Red Sox fan. Like the Red Sox had the World Series title wrapped up, but that lead slipped away. Oh, Bob, I feel like crying.
Down to the final strike. Hey, you got to suck it up and go tomorrow. Forget about this one. It's tied at 3, and you got to go get him tomorrow. They got the can on the mound, and he's had some good games. He struggled the first time out, but you just got to forget about it. Not a night really to remember for the Sox positively, but a wild and crazy game tonight. John Dutzman standing by live down at Shea Stadium, and I bet it was a wild night down there, John.
It was wild indeed, Bob, for the Mets fans, but if you remember the old TV show, The Life of Riley, to quote William Bendix, what a revolting development this is. I mean, here we go now into Game 7, and what a mood swing for Red Sox fans. It looked like they had this thing wrapped up. I mean, everybody watched this thing. There's no need to go into detail, and you're going to have the highlights or lowlights. But man, oh man, they had it wrapped up, and they simply blew it. And ironically, it was Bill Buckner that we had on TV 22 about 3 weeks ago that said that all these postseason games are determined by fate, really, not by statistics or who has a better winning record or losing record, by fate. And ironically, the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs to score the winning run for the Mets. Just an incredible come-from-behind victory for the Mets. They went nuts here in Shea Stadium for the first time, Bob, and now it's on to Game 7. Here is the story. It's supposed to rain like crazy here in Flushing tomorrow. That would mean we'd play Game 7 on Monday. It's supposed to rain Monday. That would mean we'd play it on Tuesday. What would that mean? Maybe, just maybe, Bruce Hurst will be the starting pitcher for the Red Sox in Game 7. We spoke to Bruce about that before the game. He said wouldn't mind at all. Ken Boy, by the way, says he's not too excited about pitching in Game 7. He told us that moments before the game tonight. So it sets up an interesting scene here. We may not get this thing over with until Tuesday.
Incredible, yeah. It's funny. John Spencer was saying that tonight. It's going to rain like crazy in New York, and it was it rained on the parade at about 20 minutes ago, didn't it?
Very, very scary, Bob. And as I said, there's really no need for me to repeat what happened that inning. You're going to show them again.
Yeah, I know.
But what a mood swing. It was just what happened to the Red Sox in Anaheim only happened to the Mets this time around. You know, down to the last out, the last strike, and here we go, on to Game 7.
Well, that's why these two teams are in the World Series. Both clubs able to win in a clutch, but tonight it was the Mets night, and things change from one game to the next.
You got it, sir. So maybe I'll see you by November, or by Thanksgiving, perhaps.
Maybe, just maybe. All right, thanks, John. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right, let's take a look at what did transpire tonight down at Shea Stadium between the Red Sox and the New York Mets, a 6-5, 10-inning victory. Wild and crazy. It started off wild. First inning, the Shea Stadium skydiver showed up, and the gendarmes got rid of him. Sox draw first blood in the first inning with runners at first and second. Wide Evans rips one into the gap in left center field off the wall. Boggs will score, and the Red Sox took a 1-0 lead. Clemens looks sharp early. Here he will KO Lenny Dykstra, and then Wally Backman in succession, one with a fastball, one with a curve. The Sox will go up 2-0 with the runners at first and third here in the second. Marty Barrett will line one to left field. Spike Owen will score, and it looked pretty good for the Sox. Good D also by the Sox in this one. Keith Hernandez fouls one down the left field line, or rather third base line. Wade Boggs goes into the photographer's area, and the Marty Springstead pulls him out, and he says, there's the ball, out of there. Then they come back in the fifth. Ray Knight will single, Darryl Strawberry will score, and it was 2-1 Sox. And this key error. Watch this one right here. Base hit. It's going to bounce tough on Dwight Evans, and that'll move a runner to third. They will score on the double play, 2-2 after 5. Errors come up big again. Ray Knight, an error on this ground ball by Rice in the 7th inning, leads to the Sox third run. It'll score on this, a hit and run play. Marty Barrett will come on in to score, and it was 3-2 Sox. Then with that Rice at second base, Gedman a base hit to left. Mookie charges. Rice goes to the plate. He is out of there. The Mets will tie this thing in the 8th inning. Schiraldi will blow this bunt play. Gary Carter will later on hit a sacrifice fly, and we're tied at 3. We go to the 10th. Sox take the lead. Dave Henderson, he sure has been clutch for the Sox since coming over from Seattle. He made it 4-3 Boston. And then with 2 outs, Marty Barrett singles to right. Wade Boggs scored, and it looked very good at 5-3. I thought that was the key run. But the Mets show their mettle in the 10th, down to the last out. First and second, Ray Knight singles, Gary Carter scores, and all of a sudden it was 5-4. They bring in Bob Stanley. What does Bob do? He throws a wild pitch. Kevin Mitchell scores, and we're tied at 5. And finally, here it is. Mookie Wilson's ground ball. Billy Buck can't handle it. Here comes Ray Knight. Oh, my gosh. Ray Knight scores, and we will have a 7th game. Yes, Myrtle, the final score, 6-5 in favor of the New York Mets.